The following podcast is brought to you by Pro Wrestling Connect, Australia's newest choice for event management and brand development specializing in pro wrestling.
And now, the B Plus Wrestling Podcast. Watch global. Support local. It's the B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The move.
B plus.
Check it out! Here we go!
Alright, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to another B Plus podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Saturday. You know what that means. It's time for the NXT Edition. I am late with this podcast. I am alone with this podcast, and we know that solo episodes tend to go quickly, so I do apologize for that, but Danders is away this weekend. Big boy Mikey is 3 weeks behind on NXT because of his away trip, and I just wasn't able to find a fill-in host, unfortunately, so I'm going to be breaking down this week in NXT all on my own, which includes NXT TakeOver, and NXT TakeOver feels like it was a world away from where I am right now, Saturday afternoon, as I record this, because, you know, that's a week ago we're talking about pretty much that TakeOver was on, and it was an amazing show. But I want to start with the UK, and then we'll circle back to NXT TakeOver and then NXT, because I feel like that's the better way to do it, just because I don't have as much enthusiasm about NXT UK. So let's have a look at NXT UK. This week started with The Hunt, Wild Boar and Primate taking on Tyson, T-Bone, and Saxon Huxley. A random put-together team of a couple of jobbers there. And that's what they were there to do. They were there to just do the job. So the Hunt dominate the match and win with the tandem diving headbutts. Good stuff. Good little squash match. That's pretty much what NXT UK is built on, is just these little squash matches to get people over. And it seems aimless at the moment because, well, now we've got a takeover coming, right? They've announced NXT UK takeover... I want to say Chelsea. I can't remember where it's going to be. I should have looked that up. I apologize. No, they've announced a new takeover that's coming up, and it's going to be on the same day as All Out, which they say was a coincidence. Like they'd booked this already well before All Out was announced. So there is an NXT UK takeover coming up. It's in Cardiff. That's it. NXT UK takeover Cardiff. I knew it was with a C. Anyway, that's coming up around the corner. So hopefully we'll actually start to build to some marquee matches now this time around, because it does feel kind of directionless at times without those quarterly takeovers that we get in the NXT proper. After the match, Gallus do attack the Hunt, so it looks like that's going to be one of the first matches we're looking at there is Gallus taking on the Hunt. I can't imagine that making the main card because it's not for the tag team titles. The tag team titles will be defended elsewhere, obviously, because grizzled young vets are holding those at the moment, but Gallus versus the Hunt is a good undercard match, possibly for the week after, which we'll get to with NXT as well. Casey Owens debuts here to take on Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray wins, of course, because like I said, jobbers, that's kind of the whole thing with NXT UK. Just not really any meaningful matches. Just a jobber comes out to lose to make a star. So Kaylee Ray obviously being put over here. Just nothing impressive. Ginny says that she knew as soon as she saw Jazzy sitting in the crowd at TakeOver that she would either need to fight her or befriend her, but she's too smart for that shit, so that's why she befriended Jazzy Gabbett. So that's the explanation there as to why Ginny and Jazzy are together and why they're going to be unstoppable here in NXT UK. Then we get Grizzled Young Vets come to the ring, and Zach Gibson cuts a promo. He's one of the best guys on the microphone in the world today, Zach Gibson. He gets heat like no one else, and he's out there cutting a promo about how disgusting Download Festival is and how they don't want to defend their titles in front of smelly goths. And, he tells Johnny Saint to work it out. They're not going to defend their titles at Download. They're going to defend their titles at Download. Spoiler alert. They're going to be made to. They may even lose them there. Maybe that's how we get the titles elsewhere. But yeah, Grizzled Young Vets are amazing. I hope they don't. I want them to have those tag team titles forever. I'm not going to try to do the accent, but his whole shtick about being recognized as the greatest championship in WWE, it's amazing. I love that shtick. So keep it going forever. Hook it to my veins. Devlin versus Coffey versus Banks versus Mastiff. This is to set up the number one contender for Volta's NXT UK title. So it's Jordan Devlin, Joe Coffey, the OK Coffey, Travis Banks, and Dave Mastiff. Ultimately, Travis Banks gets the pin over Jordan Devlin, which surprised me. I thought Mastiff Mastiff, they're giving him like the big boy push. Why wouldn't Coffee eat the pin here? Anyway, Travis Banks pins Devlin to get the number one contendership. So Travis Banks is going to go on to face Volta, presumably at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff, and that's where we end things with NXT UK. Wow, that took me less than 5 minutes. Let's take a look at NXT TakeOver. This is why I can't do solo casts, you guys. Solo casts for the Australian show is completely different. Solo casting NXT is really hard because there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's just, this match was good. It was a good match. But let's rewind a week. Let's rewind a week and go back to NXT TakeOver 25, the weird TakeOver, the TakeOver that's not attached to a pay-per-view because WWE aren't doing a pay-per-view this month because they're in Saudi Arabia or whatever happened. I don't know why we ended up with this standalone TakeOver. It's in Bridgeport, Connecticut, random little buttfuck nowhere town. Not really, it's Connecticut, but, head office is there. CS, NXT TakeOver 25. The pre-show was great. Nigel McGuinness, one of the highlights of the pre-show here, Nigel McGuinness says that the Black and Gold brand have proven time and time again to be the true alternative in sports entertainment. I just thought that was great. Like, it sounded to me, I've been told it wasn't, but it sounded to me like that was a shot taken at AEW, because AEW are calling themselves an alternative, and here's NXT saying, Nigel McGuinness saying, we're the true alternative in sports entertainment. Show started off with Matt Riddle taking on Roderick Strong. Matt Riddle picks up the win here. This match was fantastic. Brilliant opening match. The spot where I vaguely, like I said, this is over a week ago, guys. I vaguely remember Roderick Strong getting out of the Bro Mission, but then Matt Riddle using the elbows, getting him back in the Bro Mission. Brilliant spot. Matt Riddle gets the win. I think that they're building towards, like I said on the preview when I did the predictions with Danders, I think that we're going to see Matt Riddle sort of go through the Undisputed Era and work his way up to Adam Cole, who, spoiler alert, for the end of the show here, becomes the NXT champion. So it makes sense to me to build up Matt Riddle here and get him wins over the lackeys leading into a big match with the final boss. And you got to think maybe Adam Cole won't hold the title for too long. I know they like to have relatively lengthy reigns in NXT, but Matt Riddle is ready for that top title. So I'm thinking that's where we're going here. Build Matt Riddle up and have him take down the King. After that fantastic opener, you can't, like, Roderick Strong is one of those guys, like, I feel like he's going to end up in the opening matches a lot because he can deliver in that position, kind of like Jericho, right? Jericho ended up in opening matches a lot on pay-per-views because he just delivered in that spot. He's a really good all-rounder, can work well with anyone. Roderick Strong, I can see him being a solid NXT opener for a long time, which is, unfortunate for him. I'd like to see him get a main event shot with Roderick Strong versus Adam Cole. I don't want them to actually break up Undisputed Era. I'm in the camp where I'm against stables breaking up because we expect them to break up now, right? When people say New Day should break up, no, New Day should never break up. Undisputed Era should not break up. Maybe they have this tension between Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, and Adam Cole's just like, fine. I am the boss. I am the leader. I will lead by example. I will give you a match in the ring, and he'll get it done, and he'll beat Roderick Strong, and then they'll shake hands at the end of the match and be friends. That's what I hope that we get to that point. That's the kind of story I would like to see told here. I don't want to see them break up, and Roderick Strong gets ousted from the group by getting hit in the back with a chair, and get the Shield all over again. I don't want any of that shit. I wanted to shake hands at the end and still be mates. That's the kind of story that I think should be told here. Anyway, moving on, Undisputed Era are back out again, this time in tag team action. Red Dragon coming out and just destroying their bodies in the ladder match, along with everyone else in the ladder match. It was Forgotten Sons, of course, Street Profits, and Birch and Lorcan. Street Profits get the win here. The finishing sequence was fantastic. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, just the star of this match was Kyle O'Reilly, just broken. I think it was probably Mauro Ranallo who said, "Oh my God, they killed Kyle," which I thought was brilliant. But they did, they really did. They beat the shit out of. There was just a point in the match where everyone took their turn just killing Kyle. It was awful. Kyle O'Reilly is a beast. Apparently, everyone in this match came out of the match feeling a bit worse for wear. Jackson Riker gets in at one point and clears house for Forgotten Sons because, he's not in the match. It's Wesley Blake and what's the other guy's name? Steve? Is it Steve? Steve Cutler. Jay Cutler? Was it Jay Cutler? No, Jay Cutler's the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. See, Danders, I do know sports. Actually, I'm going to Google that and make sure, because I'm pretty sure that I had it wrong and Jay Cutler's the wrestler. Let's see. No, Jay Cutler is the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. I do know sports standards. Steve Cutler is the forgotten son, the forgotten son, the one who nobody cares about. Wesley Blake, of course, people care about by proxy as Buddy Murphy's former partner. And Jackson Riker, well, he's gonna do this, gonna do that. No, Gunner from TNA. Anyway, he gets in, he clears house, he's like beating everyone up, and then all three of the other teams have to team up to take him down, beat the shit out of him with a ladder. Good little spot if they're heating Jackson Riker up. I've said it multiple times with the Forgotten Sons, who did win me over throughout the tournament that they did with the Dusty Classic. The Forgotten Sons had some good matches in there and won me over a little. I still think that the gimmick's a little bit borderline racist, but it is what it is. It's one of those things though. They clearly see Jackson Riker as a star, even though they decided to spell his name with an X and an S, like frickin' weirdos. They clearly see him as a star. They're heating him up a lot, having him beat down everyone and having it take 6 men to neutralize him in this match was pretty cool. And then ultimately the win comes with the Street Profits. A spear, was it Montez Ford's spear through Angelo Dawkins hit the spear under the ladder, which bad luck, Angelo. Bad luck. Angelo Dawkins is definitely the Marty in this team. I know not all teams have to have a Marty and a Sean, but this team does. Angelo Dawkins is the Marty. He's been around NXT for long. Like he was there back like when Ty Dillinger was an enhancement guy in NXT. You know what I mean? Like he's been around for a while. I think Angelo Dawkins may actually even go back to the FCW days. Bro, you're not gonna make it. Okay? Give up. Anyway, Montez Ford, who is shackled to Angelo Dawkins at this point, he's the Sean. He does a leap from the top from the corner to the ladder and rushes up and grabs the titles and gets Street Profits the win. Pretty good stuff. I'm still not a fan of the Street Profits act. I think Montez Ford is way better than Angelo Dawkins, but I get into Montez Ford, so it's good to see him have a title. We move on. We get Velveteen Dream and the returning Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze obviously returned to NXT. He's back in NXT full time. I went 4 stars with my rating on this one in Grapple App. I really enjoyed this match. Great heel finish with the use of the title, the ref distraction. At one point in the match, Velveteen Dream busted out the Unprettier, which was really, really good. I'm trying to remember other spots. I didn't take comprehensive enough notes, unfortunately. But this match, I felt things in this match. Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze, they're both so charismatic. They're great. I'm worried a little about Tyler Breeze not losing anything, but just sort of going back to NXT, and he wants to be taken more seriously. He's got the shorter hair. I mean, he's still doing the selfie stick thing. They took a selfie after the match. That's right. I remember now. They took a selfie after the match. There's a mutual respect there, which is what I wanted. I said I want them to become friends, not tag team partners or anything. I don't want them to do some weird new fashion police with Velveteen Dream and his androgyny. I want them to actually just be friends, just be people who can band together when they need to. There's not enough of that in wrestling, and I really enjoy that kind of thing. So Velveteen Dream, Tyler Breeze, definitely worth watching. This whole show is worth watching, to be honest with you. I'm a big fan of TakeOver.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, OUTBREAK NUTRITION. OUTBREAK NUTRITION are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at OUTBREAK NUTRITION. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out OUTBREAKNutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure, if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, OUTBREAKNutrition.com, enter the code B+ at checkout. Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today. Man, I wish I had someone else on this show with me right now, because I'm just rambling. I'm just rambling at this point, which I know that's what you guys tune in for. Damian Priest is coming to NXT. Damian Priest, of course, the artist formerly known as Punishment Martinez. Now, Punishment Martinez was an awful name. Damian Priest is a much better take on the name. He has that kind of look, a little bit of a gothic look. So the gothic name, Damian Priest, sounds like he's... I don't know. It just sounds better than Punishment Martinez. I mean, what kind of first name is Punishment? That was awful. Anyway, then we move on to Shayna Baszler. She dominates this title match against Io Shirai, which I thought was weird. So, I mean, look, Shayna Baszler's really good. She's really flexible as a heel. She can be that dominant force, or she can be a cheat to win, back out last second coward. She does it all, really, as a heel, which I think a lot of times, as a heel character, you kind of have to pick one and stick to it. You're either the liar, the cheat, the thief. It's not often that you can be all of them. But Shayna Baszler manages to sort of do a bit of everything and pull it off. But I like her at her best when she's a dominant heel. But that's kind of not what she's been in this feud with Io. You expect with Io Shirai you kind of expect Io Shirai to get the win here with the way they've built it. And I would have liked to see Shayna Baszler maybe, come out of this with a DQ victory or something to that effect to justify what happens after the match. So Baszler dominates, Io gets on the comeback, the Horsewomen come out, but Candice LeRae comes out with the kendo stick and equalizes them. And so it ends up being a clean finish. It's a clean finish. Io Shirai gets a bridge pin, but Shayna Baszler transitions that into the Karafuda clutch and picks up the win. And yeah, I just thought it was weird that she got the clean win. I think that if you want to give Shayna Baszler the win here, you give her a bit more of a dirty victory so that Io has a reason to snap, because without the dirty victory, Io just snapped. So Io's the heel, right? It's weird. It's weird to me that they had Io snap after the match, unless they're having her turn, or maybe just bringing out a more vicious streak in Io Shirai. I'm not sure where they're going with this. It's Io Shirai is supposed to be this lovable babyface, the genius of the skies, and she just snapped, which it was brilliant to see. Don't get me wrong. It was brilliant to see her snap and attack with the chair and hit the moonsault with the chair, and Candice LeRae being at ringside just being like, what is going on? But, ultimately, Shayna won clean. And so if Io Shirai's like, I want another title shot, Shayna basically just like, nah, thank you. Next. Like, there's Io Shirai's done here. I don't, unless they're going to go with the whole, you hit me with a chair, and so now I'm going to put my title on the line against you, which I hate that. Why is she dumb? She's the champion. She shouldn't be dumb. If that's what she does, that's dumb, and I don't like it. Anyway, moving on, we get the main event, which was an amazing main event. 5-star. I believe Uncle Dave Meltzer gave this one 5.75 stars because fuck continuity. Fuck logic. Let's break the scale. I hate his star rating system. If you're going to rate out of 5 stars, like, you can give more than one type of thing 5 stars. It doesn't have... whatever. Fuck Meltzer. Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole. Adam Cole comes out with Josiah Williams, Wrestle and Flow, formerly featured on the B Plus podcast, I might add. Wrestle and Flow is amazing. It's an amazing project, and the Undisputed Era one is one of my favorites. I'm a huge fan of the Undisputed Era one, so, it was awesome to see him do that, especially because we have seen Undisputed Era twice already tonight. So this is the third Undisputed Era entrance, the third time we're hearing this song. It's hard to pop for that, but when you have the guy coming out rapping the song to the ring, it was amazing. And then, he hits the boom, and then we get Johnny Gargano comes out. Johnny Gargano in Captain Marvel gear. Amazing. I love that. Perfect analogy. Captain Marvel was OP in the movie. Johnny Gargano is OP at the last pay-per-view when he fought off 4 dudes in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Ultimately, this match was just insane. There is no one better. Well, I say there's no one better. Possibly no one better than Adam Cole at timing big matches. People say Adam Cole people leave Adam Cole out of the discussion for best worker because he doesn't go out there and give it his all in like a mid-card match. But when he's in the main event, when he's in a big spot match, he knows how to time those matches, man. Like I want to see Adam Cole versus Okada because these two time a match like no one fucking else. Just in terms of knowing how to play the crowd like a goddamn fiddle, how to keep the crowd in the palm of your hand and hit those big spots when they really matter, when they'll really have the maximum effect. That destroyer outside of the ring, holy shit. The trading of finishes was brilliant. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of Adam Cole. Like obviously Johnny Gargano is, he's Johnny 5-star at this point, but Adam Cole doesn't get enough due. I think Adam Cole is one of the best in the world. I'm a huge fan of Adam Cole, and it was good to see him pick up the win here and become the champion over Johnny OP. I'm a big fan of Adam Cole, and I'm looking forward to this Undisputed Era. I thought going into this, that maybe I'm guilty of not giving him his due. I thought that maybe they couldn't top the 2 out of 3 falls match. I thought this match was actually better. I love the 2 out of 3 falls match, but I thought this match was better. I think that, the fact that they were able to do it without any of the frills, without any of their interference, without the stipulation of the extra falls, which the 2 out of 3 falls match was really meant for Ciampa anyway. And this was brilliant. Big fan. Hopefully this is it for Johnny Gargano. Move on up. Not that I want you to move up because I don't want you to just languish in the mid card forever and never get your shot. But I don't see what else Johnny Gargano has in NXT from here other than a rematch with Adam Cole. I don't see where else do you go? You're a Grand Slam champ. I don't see anything for Johnny Gargano other than heading to SmackDown Live. I think that's where he belongs at this point. And then we move on to this week's NXT, which of course we know is filmed before the TakeOver show. So it's mostly these ones, the post-TakeOver NXT TVs are usually pretty short. It's just like a match or two with videos and promos. So we got Keith Lee and Kona Reeves. Keith Lee picks up the win here. Kona Reeves has come a long way in a short time. I remember when he debuted just being like, why is this guy on television? Keep him on the loop. But he's getting a lot better. Keith Lee, obviously the guy they're building into a star. But it really feels like they have nothing for Keith Lee. They don't have any major direction for him. Hence him being on the pre-show here. The post-show. Pre-show. It's a pre-show when they film it. It's a post-show when they air it. Who knows? We get an announcement that Io Shirai and Candice LeRae are going to take on the Horsewomen next week, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. So that should be fun. The Street Profits are backstage. They do something with a cameraman. I did not understand what was going on. And then Tyler Breeze cuts his promo saying that he's not going anywhere. He's back in NXT full-time. And then we get the main event. So this was Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. Main event. I say main event. It was 2 matches. Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. I don't know why this was on the pre-show. I would have liked to see this be match 2 on TakeOver and maybe give... No, because I wouldn't change any of the match lengths on TakeOver. But I want to see more than one women's match on TakeOver, if you feel me. So, I would love to see, Mia Yim and Bianca Belair make it to a TakeOver instead of just being on the pre-show, post-show. Mia Yim gets the win clean, which shocked me. Bianca Belair is undefeated, except when she's not. And this is one of those cases where she's not. Mia Yim picks up the win clean. Big win for Mia Yim. Bianca Belair looked emotional too. Is she getting called up? Maybe this was her farewell to TakeOver. Who knows? Drew Gulak cuts a promo about losing last week, and then we see recaps of the main event from TakeOver, and that's it for NXT TV. It was a really weird way to finish. Normally, you finish with the actual match. You do all the recaps in between, and then finish with the match. But they finished with a recap of the NXT TakeOver main event, and then no new content, no announcements, no promos, nothing. We do know that we're going to see a submission match next week between Drew Gulak and Kushida, which is pretty cool. We're also going to see Lorcan and Birch taking on Undisputed Era next week. Both teams coming off a loss at the TakeOver, looking to, get back in the win column. And that's NXT for the week, and that's the NXT edition. Again, I apologize, guys, for being here solo. I apologize for it being late. I apologize for it being fast. Solo casts are always fast because there's only so much I can say without a back and forth. So, next week, return of the Danders, and we'll get into NXT, and she can tell me how she didn't watch NXT UK, and I can sigh a lot. In the meantime, if you want to find me on social media, I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling won't fit. The B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do, and thank you so much for listening.